Hey folks, welcome back. Level Up Royal here with you once again. Excuse me. And guys, we're going to be doing this one by request. So thank you all so much for reaching out and asking me to do different build tutorials. I absolutely love the idea. I'm actually putting a link in the description below to a video where there's a tour of 15 different bases of mine. So if you see anything in there that you'd like a tutorial for, please feel free to reach out and let me know. I'll be sure and get it done. So guys, this is what I call my floating egg base. I've got several of these. This is probably the design I'm going to build in today's tutorial. I just wanted to show you guys like the finished product. Real easy to get this one started. You basically just use the terrain manipulator, make a little flat spot off a cliff, and of course you can go as high up as you want. It's not actually connected to the ground at all. I just put a signal booster down there to make it look like it was being held up by a beam of light. I thought it was cool. But anyway, you just use the terrain manipulator, put your flooring down, put your landing pads, whatever you want over here on the land part, and then you just get a sky bridge going across and you can start the egg shell. So just to kind of show you what the interior of this thing is going to look like. The chandelier, you know, that's time consuming. I may not do that on live stream, although if you guys are interested in seeing that, I will. All the holograms and stuff, the way I position those, I'll be showing all that. Getting the vaults in there was definitely tricky, as well was the floor work. So again, I'll be showing steps for all of this fun stuff. Not only that, this site just happened to have two resources. So I'm getting some kind of gas and I'm getting some kind of mineral coming into the base. It looks like paphorinium and nitrogen. So there's the lower floor, just to give you a real quick view of what we're going to be working with here. So anyway, guys, before I do anything else, I actually need to jump profiles and get into another save file here. High speed. This is where the build is that somebody had found. And I couldn't believe it. It was pretty awesome. So let's see here. I'm having a brain fart here. I think it's this one. One way to find out. Hey, Jules. Good to see you again. Hope everything is going good with you. Been a while since I've been on No Man's Sky here. And in case y'all hear a crunching sound, I'm eating a super crispity apple. Okay, I guessed right. So, I don't know why I always spawn in on the floor. Kind of weird, but so anyway, guys, this is the build site I picked for this build tutorial. I kind of sort of got it started, but that was just to save a lot of time in today's live stream, trying to figure out positioning. I probably spent about 5 hours on this so far. But don't worry, I'm going to show all these steps step by step so you guys know exactly how to put this stuff down, position, etc. And guys, you don't have to build off a pre-build. It just happened to be here, you know. I figured, well, how fun would that be? I've never actually done that before, so instead of going off of a cliff wall, like I just showed you on the prior base, same type of party though, you know, it's just basically going off the structure here. So, but same. All the build steps are going to be the same. So, anywho,
technology recharge.
I'm going to take you to one more just real quick to show you. This one has a slight variation to it, but I think it's important to show like the finished product before we start building so you guys kind of know what we're cooking up here. Hey, Bacon Buzz, what's up? Pork rinds, yum, yum, yum. Yep, those are yummy. Awesome, Jules. Glad to have you. Hey, Austin, what's going on tonight? The Halo Pelican is your Corvette. Nice. One thing I'm not real good at is the Corvettes in this game. So apparently, yes, to answer your question, Austin, there are a few things that they've added to the game here. One is like a recycling type of thing, where you can find like all this scrap all over certain planets and you can haul it back and it'll give you like nanites and stuff. Pretty cool. There was a whole expedition on that, I skipped it. But then there's some kind of fighting ring where you can do like battles against other NPCs and probably other players too with like hologram tables. And you can use the animals that you have. And it's not actual, like, the actual animals will fight. It's just the holograms of them. But, I don't know, a lot of people are having fun with that. So anyway, guys, back to the second egg base here. Now, there's no actual door to this one. This one's completely suspended. So, just wanted to show it's a different layout. On the first one I showed, the walkway was kind of like around the perimeter, whereas this one's more centralized. And I did that just so it looked like you were more encased in this eggshell. But the main difference with this one was the first build I showed you had 6 sides, this one has 12. So basically, for every large side, there's this one corner piece. And unfortunately, that one doesn't snap, so you just have to put that down via line of sight, which is kind of looks like, you know, just barely slightly off maybe. But once you get that wall piece in, then you can just, you know, match up the ceiling and the underneath pieces to seal it off. And those do snap onto that wall piece. So that was the main variation with this one that I wanted to show. And don't worry, I'm going to show you guys build steps for all of this stuff. The other thing, too, is just in case you guys want to see how I placed it. There is a... I don't know where I'm going. It's funny, this thing is a hologram, but it lets you stand on it. Like, I don't understand. Ah, come on, player. My character's, like, bugging here. Why is this so hard? There we go. So anyway, yeah, the only way in and out of this one is going to be via telewarper there. But that's just basically something that I scanned, you know. I centered it underneath, and I went up high enough before, you know, actually... I didn't want too much of it to be into the build. I just kind of wanted it to look like it was holding it up. So it might have been able to go up just a little bit higher, but I was happy with that, and I just kind of went with it. So anyway, guys, just, again, that's my floating egg base. Now that you know what the finished products look like, let's go ahead and get to work. Oh, fringe benefit, too, for this build site. Actually, I should have showed you all a planet address. There were 2 flyers to that first base I took you to. That's back on my other save file there. I think this is called the Arctic Flyer. Yes. So never mind that picture. I actually have 2 bases on this world now. Did they ever make the fishing worth doing? So, yes and no. I'm not a big fan of fishing in this game because I don't use the meals. A lot of players love the meals. They do give you buffs. But, you know, I find the game's easy enough to play without worrying about all that. It's a lot of work. And we all know how I feel about that. So, yeah, I don't know. I just wasn't big on the meals. If I was, I would absolutely take the time and do the fishing. In fact, in that link I put in the description below, in one of my base tours, I showed a fishing base. So you can, like, build an ocean base. That'll give you some ideas there, too, if you really like the fishing. Oh, I'm at the wrong base, bruh. That's the one I'm building. I need to rename that so that I know where I'm going. Bacon Bus, I got you covered. Check out that link in the description below on my base tours, and they're chaptered out, so you can kind of get through it pretty quickly. But there's 2 bases that have gigantic triforces that you can absolutely see from space. So yeah, real fun stuff there. So anyway, guys, I know this is going to be a nightmare trying to see, but again, whether you start building off a cliff wall or just, you know, a pre-existing structure or whatever you want, and of course that's if you want to do this hallway design out to it. Now this is going to be a little bit different. I've been wanting to do something new with these floating egg bases. I wanted to build a sky crane, or something that looks like a sky crane that's holding the whole thing up. So this is going to be kind of like a hybrid of my suspension bridges and a floating egg base. So anyway, getting to work here. If you're going to do it off a pre-existing structure, I started with this one. Now you don't have to, you can use just regular floor piece or something. And I arrowed down so you know it's free placing, it's not snapping. And you see when I highlight my cursor or my crosshair over the top of the guardrail, it green lights. So then you can just kind of bumper spin that thing around the way you want it to face. Another way you can do this, just a good old-fashioned flat piece here, and again, that cursor's got to be on the top of where you want the build to go. The difference is this one versus the stairs, it gives you some wiggle room here, so you can kind of go up and down in elevation until you get, you know, however you want it to face or whatever the case may be. You can also use the large floor for that also. And remember, build limit. So I went with the wider floor panels because you get farther reach for the number of builds. Alright, awesome. Yeah, I hope you enjoy those tours. They are a lot of fun. Hey, Pink Parrot, what's going on tonight? Good to see you. Alright, so anyway, once you've got your sky bridge started, you know, going the direction and at the height you want, from there you just start snapping floor builds. Now the wall pieces, of course, they snap right onto the floor builds. And of course, I like the glass, guys. I love the sky bridges to be glass. I always have, I always will. So, I'll show you that. Whoop, I'll show you that real quick if I can figure out how to build. So this one right here, the timber framed glass panel. I just slapped a bunch of those out in succession, and then I did the exact same thing for the roof. And of course the walls are... make sure you hit Y for variant, or whatever that button prompt is for you there at the bottom of that little pop-up screen. So that you can see all the different, you know, you got the base, that one's going to have the light bar in it. So I'll probably swap all these out for the light bar, because I just like having that light in here, and I don't know why I didn't do that to begin with, to be honest, so I'll do that, you know, later on down the road. But anyway, you just snap them all in, bada bing, bada bang. Go out as far as you want. When I got to this is my tower, so this is going to be the crane tower, basically. This is all just straight up, and of course hit that Y for variance again, but I used the midsection, and I just stacked them. So in order to get those in the way I wanted, angled the way I wanted, I had to go into the triangle builds here. And you know, you got to put them all the way around. So it would be like a six-sided type of party. But anyway, what I did then, after I, you know, had all these triangles in, all the way around, kind of like in that circle, that six-sided, whatever that's called, hexagon, I ripped out these two triangles, and then I just simply put in two floor pieces, snapped, and they're going to overlap a little bit because of the geometry, so, you know, this isn't going to be perfect. You'll notice the overlap here, but I'm totally okay with that. That's how it turns out, but at least you can still more or less see down at the bottom, and I replicated that on the top as well. So it's the same design, it's sealed. Not only that, it gives us access to the walls here on these windows. So I was just really happy with the way that came out, and I decided to stick with that. Another idea you can do is just, you know, build this six-sided figure, get your supports in, and then you can rip all the six-sided figure stuff out and just continue the hallway here straight. So, you know, I could have just had the floor pieces going, I could have had the two wall pieces going, and, you know, just roughly here, again, they're going to overlap, but that's about what that would have looked like without all the extra being able to access those other windows there. So, you know, just a couple of different ideas for y'all. And this thing's going to be going out 12 builds from crane support. So you see I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yep, okay, I wanted to make sure I had that counted out right. So this is basically going to be where my egg base starts. But before I get into that, I want to finish showing you guys this thing. Now the reason I angled this counterweight so far back is because these cables are really going to angle out here. And I'll show you how I place those here in just a moment. That's actually why I decided to stop here, because it starts getting real complex with that. I wanted to make sure I could show that. So anyway, yeah, I just basically built all the way up and down with the supports, and that's 7 up, by the way. So from floor level here, you're going to want to go 7 wall pieces up. And that'll angle everything just right so it looks more legit. It'll look like an actual crane holding the base out. So that's really what I'm going for, and again, that's why I have the counterweights going so far back on this. So right now it kind of looks, you know, rear end heavy. But once we get the base built and the cables installed, it'll look more like it's supposed to. Like it's actually counterweighting something that's out there being held up. So, without any further ado, let's build. Let's see, who do we got here? Yeah, true that, Bacon Bus. The Triforces do tend to do that. Hey, Deborah, good to see you tonight. Welcome, welcome. Oh, good deal. I'm happy about that. Demon Fan? I think I'm saying that right. Welcome to the stream, by the way, and I'm so glad they're helping you out. Icarus is tough. It's quite a party. But I'm having a lot of fun playing it, so... Alright guys, so let's get building here. I'll show you guys all the steps to get this stuffing, because honestly it's very difficult. So that's why I've got these 2 little wing builds sitting out here to the sides, because you need the cursor or the crosshairs to be able to highlight, you know, in order to put that build down. It doesn't snap. So it's just kind of a real pain, you know, to try to get those in there. But that is this gable here. Okay, so it does snap. I take back what I just said. It doesn't snap if you have a guardrail in here. So that's kind of what I wanted to show. So one way or another, you have to freestyle a build down if you want to overlap the... excuse me. If you want to overlap the gable with, like, some railing, as I showed in the very first build I took you guys to when the stream started. And I'll show you that building step here. So yeah, step 1, get extra floor pieces going out that way. Step 2 would be get your gable, go down arrow for freestyle here, and then bumper until that thing spins around the way you need it. And then again, you just really have to try to eyeball it. So it's not going to be perfect. I just kind of look at the build it's butting up next to on the right there and try to, you know, line it up as best as possible. It's not going to be perfect by any means, but you can at least get it looking legit. So I'm probably pretty happy with that there. I would place it just like that. And now you can snap in the railing. Booyah, baby. And of course I could have used a longer railing there. So, you know, if you've got a walkway extending out a good distance, that'll just really fill that in for you very nicely. And you can see it takes away the snap point now that I've got this other one snapped in. So if I wanted that on this side, I'd have to rip that out, freestyle it in, and then snap in the railing. But it's just a really cool, you know, forward-looking thing. I really like the design. It looks like it's just an overhang, really, basically, with the signage. And then as far as that roofing goes, guys, it just snaps right into the other roofs, you know, and then the sign way over here. Booyah. It is basically eyeballed it the best as I could. Now that light, that's not something that I put in. That was there, so I tried to make it work as best as I could, you know, make it look like it belonged. But honestly, I wish I could remove that. I cannot. It's part of this pre-existing structure. So anyway, that's pretty much it, guys. That's how this whole thing starts. And, you know, again, just to save time and spacing and all that, I got this far I probably saved you all about 5 hours worth of streams just now, you know, getting ahead in the game. So anyway, I'll show you guys the difference with the walls now. We'll do that mid. Oh, no, wait. That is the mid. We'll do the base. Feel the bass, 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 bass. And basically I'm just going to go all the way out. Oh, no! That's okay. I came prepared. I have plenty of frostwort, so glass is not a problem. It may wind up becoming a problem, because it's going to be a lot of glass builds. But the good thing is the roof pieces that I use, they're silicate, I think. Silicone or what? Let me look at that. So I'm speaking intelligently here. That one right there. So silicate powder, ferrite dust. So you don't need to worry about glass for those things, and I love them. That's why I use the stone skylight roof, because it's basically just glass. Whereas the wooden one, it's just like there's a lot of wood trim in there, and it kind of blocks the view. Especially when I start angling them and stacking them the way that I do. So anywho... back to base. Feel the bass, 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 bass. One thing I love about this game is the ability to tear down and rebuild. You get all your mats back, every last one of them. Most games don't give you that luxury, so, you know, in this game, you can just build it. If it sucks, rip it out, try it again. You get your materials back. You basically lose literally nothing. It's really not even a loss of time because you learned something. So, you know, 90% of the time when I'm building, it's ripping out and trying again. Ripping out, trying again. Ripping out, trying again. I can do that for hours. Okay, so we're nice and sealed in here. Another nice thing about this sealed in, you know, glass sky bridge, for one, you can still see the aesthetics of the planet. And wow, talk about a cool build site at night, guys. That ring lights up, the water lights up, it's gorgeous. Can't wait to show you all of that. But, so now this is without the light bar. And, you know, it's okay. And then this is with the light bar. I just like that pinstripe in there. I don't know, it adds a little something, something extra to it. So yeah, I'll probably be, you know, converting that over later on. Let's see here. Multiple streams again tonight. No, probably just this one, Bacon. I'm going to try to get this build done tonight. No, I make no promises, you know. It might be a little bit more time consuming than what I'm thinking here. But definitely do want to try to get this build done. Hey, Pink Parrot! Oh, we've already said hello. I don't know why. Brain farts. Is it Friday afternoon already for you? Wow. That's right, you're ahead. Well, awesome. Well, happy Friday to you. Alright guys, so now the cables. And in order to, you know, split the difference on the build here, I'll show you guys how I place these. So where it looks like it's sealed, you know, it actually looks like a no-kidding support cable. And in order to do that, that'll just help me get outside, you know, quicker. But what I'll do is I'll, of course, go over to... Actually, hold that thought. We're not going to do that just yet. I guess I need to select a build in order to get into aerial mode here. So anyway, there's my guy. Say hi. Just hanging out, looking around. Man, that dude's got nerves of steel to be just hanging out on the glass there. If that was like a real bridge, I'd probably be standing on the wood part. Just saying. So anyway, I'm going to have to rip some of these out, which is, you know, good. This way I can kind of show you guys how I built that. Which it's pretty straightforward. I mean, the triangular pieces, they snapped right onto the wall piece there, so it was really pretty easy peasy. Then I just kept spinning around the triangle pieces until I got the shape, the overall shape that I wanted. So just to kind of show you guys how that's built. Without actually having to rebuild the entire thing. It's really just a whole bunch of triangles together until I was happy with this shape. So you can actually morph this to your own heart's content. you know, and put the shape that you're going to be happy with. I'm just basically showing you how I did it here. That's a lot of builds, unfortunately. You know, that's going to really hurt my build limit here. But it's for science, and that's okay. So anyway, I am going to have to rip a couple of these builds out so we can see the snap point that I use, and it's not even really a snap point. Let's get rid of all of these. Actually, I have to go back further. Okay, so you want the top of your wall exposed. And what I do is I find a snap point. Here, I'll just rip this out. And place it again. So basically what I do is I go to the cable. And then notice how you have a little X. It's just kind of out there in the middle of the space, you know, you cannot place here. And even when you start backing that onto the build, it's still X'd out. But notice what happens when I come back just a little bit further, it highlights out. So now I can actually place a build there. So I just, you know, right trigger and I get the thing started. And what I'm going to do is just go down here underneath. Now I start out 3 builds out. So, you know, there's 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to go right under here. Well, right under here. And I'm going to go to... now we have to down arrow because you're not going to get a green light down here. So now you have to go down arrow and, you know, freeform it. And that'll get you out of snap mode. So what I do is basically line that up with the wall edge, the inner part of the wall edge. That's what that line is right there that we're looking at. And you know that because it kind of blocks out that little, I don't know what that looks like, an oval, something or other, but like half of it's blocked out. That's the wall. So that's where I line my cursor up with the wall piece. And then I go back about, yeah, right about there. You know, it doesn't have to be perfect. Right about where that build ends. Pow. So now the good thing is we have a snap point up here, but it only lets you use it twice. You know, don't forget with this piping, you only get 2 connections per snap point. So you kind of have to go through this process every other time, but I'll go back into snap mode. Hey, Lego my ego. I want it to show me the snap point. Normally it shows you the snap point here. I don't know why it's not. Okay, well, I guess that's not going to cooperate, and that's fine. I'll just go ahead and do that again here. So... Oh, I wasn't on snap mode. I'm a genius. Okay. So anyway, use that snap point. You know, it'll just save you some time. And then once you're out 3, guys, then I start going like in half increments. So the next one is going to be, I think it's 1.5, and I wrote this down so I didn't get too confused. So 1.5. So this would be 1, and then 1/2 is going to be right smack dab in the middle of this build. So I'll show you how I place that. Good thing I'm not wearing a skirt. And so about halfway on this build. Now I don't have the wall piece here, unfortunately. That's going to throw me off a little bit. Wait a minute. There is a wall piece there. Oh wow, check that out. I didn't realize that was going to happen. The builds with the light, it's different underneath, and that's going to be no bueno. So for the purposes of placing these cables, unfortunately, I'm going to have to rip out all those wall pieces and put in the one where I know I can see my placement better, because it's important for that to be centered, again, to make sure the pipe, you know, looks like one's inside, one's outside. If that's not centered right, it looks just off. It looks like it's cutting through the build somehow. So yeah, let's go mid on that. So I guess I'll come back and do the pinstripe thing with the light bar at a later date. In fact, you know, I'm just really showing build steps right now, so if you guys want to see the completed product, I can show you a planet address real quick. And this way, if you want to come by and check out the build, you know, long after I'm done with the tutorial here, I'll have a completed product. You can see how it turned out. But there's that planet address there, just in case you're interested. And there is a flyer here, so it's not just about the build here. So it's kind of like multi-purpose planet. And I'll show you guys the flyer. It's actually quite beautiful. Something else I like to do on all my other bases. Absolutely. I love these things. I'm so happy they put these in the game because I use the heck out of them. If I can find the thing. There it is, Wonder Projector. So you're going to be looking at the rear end of the thing, so you have to kind of turn around and have it facing the direction you want the animal to face. And you can actually scale these, so I'll just hold my right arrow down on the D-pad and make that as big as it will go. Bada bing, bada bing. And then I'll put that out, you know... It doesn't have to be perfect. Somewhat centered, kind of toward the front of that sign. So it'll look like it's overhanging. And I'll show you guys the flyer that's here on this planet. I've already got it preloaded. Arctic Flyer, booyah. So it's quite beautiful. It's real fun to fly. It's a real pretty, like, purple, blue. It's definitely Arctic looking. So yeah, feel free to find those. You just tame them by, you know, feeding them creature pellets. Then you can ride them. You can adopt them. You can make eggs, you can make babies. Lots of fun. Okay, let's finish out my walls and then I'll get these cables installed. Alright, let's get back outdoors here. Now I'm going to continue with the cabling. So anyway, it's going to be... we're starting out at 1.5, so that cable is going to wind up right here in the middle of this floor. Go back over to our structures. And... so there we go. Now you see the edge of that wall. Now there's 5 of those little oval things. 1, 2, 3. That's the center one. So that's how you know your center on this floor build. So I'm going to go right in the middle of that and right by that wall piece there. And again, you're going to have to go free placement down here because you cannot install these otherwise. Right there. And go ahead and... whoops. Get that clicked. Now we should have a snap point up here, so go back into snap mode. See, I don't know. Now I know I'm in snap mode. I don't know. Oh, there it goes. Because it just wants you to be in a certain vantage point. So anyway, you can see these are lined up now, the same plane as the walls. And that's kind of what we're going for. So again, we're going to start going out in half increments now. So this one is 1.5 out. So now I'm going to go 2 complete floor pieces out. So that would be 1, that would be 2. So once again, we're going to be in the middle of this floor piece here. And once again, nerves of steel standing on the glass. That's a lot of trust, man. And go into free mode. Pow. So now the snap point will not be here. So unfortunately, you just got to free mode it. And try to eyeball as best as you can. Actually, I'm going to go back into snap mode anyway. Because that's how I know, like, when the X disappears, that's how I know I'm where I want. Or no. When those disappear. So I want them to be underneath just like that. And centered. So notice where my cursor is there. That's about where you want to be. So that everything kind of looks like it's going up to the same point. Now that should have a snap point on it. Because I just placed a new one down there. But, it, you know, sometimes if it's overlapping or if it's super, super close to the other one, it won't give it to you. So, you know, try to find your snap point. If it's not there, you know, there's not much you can do about it. You'll just have to do the same steps to keep lining them back up. So, yeah, right about there. So now, again, guys, going out another half a build. So now we're up to 2.5. So that would be 1... that would be 2.5. Now we're back to, like, even floor pieces here. So I'm going to go ahead and go back out of snap mode there. And just like I did that very first one, right about there. Booyah, baby. Okay, that was 2.5, so now we're going to go out 3, which takes us right up to the end, guys. Just like so. Okay, go into free. Right about there. Go back into snap. Oh wow, I just noticed a whole bunch of chat there. Give me 1 second, guys. Sorry about that. Sometimes when I get laser focused, I tend to I tend to tunnel vision a lot. It's hard for me to multitask. Okay, so right about there. Pow. So now everything looks like it's lined up. Everything looks like it's going to a central point. And just to show you guys what this looks like on the inside now. And this is only one side. We got to do the other side yet. But everything's lined up nice. Everything looks like it's, you know, consistent. And that's the main part, is the consistency. Alright, let's take a quick break. I'll read some chat here. Pink Parrot, that's okay. I can say hi twice. Awesome. I think Icarus is more complex. Oh yeah, absolutely, by far. Demon fan. Icarus is way more complex. In fact, it's overwhelming, you know, to put it mildly. Whereas No Man's Sky, it's more well-balanced. More middle of the road. You're not going to get overwhelmed with never-ending perk trees, I swear. Every time I play Icarus, I feel like I'm in a perk tree for about 3 hours. It's just very overwhelming. Hey, Polly, good to see you again. Welcome, welcome. Icarus is way more complex. Just a much smaller world. Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. You're limited to one planet in that game, whereas, you know, No Man's Sky, you can be at this for years. Which has the better building mechanic? Okay, Pink Parrot, good question. Probably this one. There's more freedom. You can overlap builds. You can free place builds. You know, you don't necessarily have to snap. So yeah, I feel like this is probably the best game I've ever played for a building mechanic, just because I feel like I have a lot more freedom. You can really make some unique structures, unique shapes, unique, you know, just designs. Here in No Man's Sky. So guys, I told you, you know, the night sky would be pretty awesome to check out. So I mean, there was no way I wasn't building a base here. The way those rings, you know, glisten off the water, I just love it. Not only that, there's a resource or two here in the area that'll be piping in later. And that way, if anybody does, you know, decide to come visit the base, there'll be some resources here for the taking. So anyway, yeah, I just cannot wait to get this all finished out, and I'll definitely get some good pictures of it when it's done. Polly, let's see, you said when you do get back on Icarus, look upper right corner for the time or day. Oh yeah, I did that, by the way. Thank you for telling me about that. I saw where it said Riverlands, I saw where it said Forest. Thank you for that. It's been there the whole time, I just never clued into that, so appreciate the help on that. Have I seen that new game, Windrose? I have not. Okay, noted. If it's another building game, I'll definitely look into that. Thanks for throwing that out there. Alright, back to work. So anyway, I want to get the cables installed. Because this crane isn't going to look right if it's kind of like lopsided. So yeah, let's do that. And then I'll start work on the shell of the base, the egg part. And that's the one that I was asked, you know, for the tutorial on, because they were having trouble with, and guys, I know it's very tough. Basically, I had to place a whole bunch of dummy builds to get the roof pieces, you know, angled just right and get it sealed. So yeah, it's a very complicated type of structure, unfortunately, trying to get those in without having to overlap a bunch of extra builds. Not only that, when you start overlapping a bunch of those extra builds, it starts really darkening your view. So yeah, I'll show that here step by step. Absolutely. Okay, so for now I'm just going to get this finished out. Right about there. I had my snap point. Where did it go? Bro. Why? I don't know why this is being so finicky. I don't know if this is update related. I don't remember having these issues before getting snap points. They're usually pretty... I mean, you just kind of point in the general direction and it's, you know, usually just lighting up. This is being very finicky. So anyway, the good thing about this is once you get one side in, you don't have to sit there counting the blocks anymore. You can just, like, see across the way from where the other one lands. Boom. So it'll be a lot quicker here getting this part done. Okay. And while I'm here, go back into snap. As soon as that disappears, pow. Okay, go ahead and hit that button again and get another one started. Might as well. It'll save you a trip. And, yep. Right on the money. Right about there. Ought to do... Uh-oh. I've reached the end of my bubble. I am not Bubble Boy, apparently. Or I am Bubble Boy. So I'm trapped in the bubble. Right about there. Wow, I kind of feel like I'm getting dizzy with all this spinning around. Whoo! And that's up a little high, that's okay. Honestly, it won't be noticeable once I get this in here. Right about there. Okay, so now to seal that back off. And again, I'll just show you how I got all this started. I went to the alloys here, triangle, and back into snap mode, of course. And again, they snap right into those wall pieces, so that's what gets you started. Then you can bumper, you know, and change orientation. And for the central column here, I did this. You know, you can put these in any way you want. I just liked the design. And then here... Come on. There we go. Come on. I don't know why sometimes it won't give you the direction you want. Like, you have to change position. Sometimes that'll fix it. There it goes. And this one here, I guess it doesn't really matter, but to keep with the straightness of everything else, that's what I'll do. And again, I just kind of went back here until I was happy with the shape of the overall. You can really go to town on that thing, though, the counterweight. In fact, I might even extend that back a little bit further, depending on what the overall looks like. So speaking of what the overall looks like, let's take a step back, and I just want to see what it looks like now from a distance. Okay, yeah, that's about what I thought it might, look like. So now the counterweight makes more sense. The angle kind of feeds into that a little bit. Now when I get, you know, an actual base built out there, it'll look like the weight is there to counterbalance all of that. So it's really starting to get a crane look to it. So that's why I said, you know, it wouldn't look right unless we had both sides of the cables in there. From the side view, you can especially see that now. Guys, I love this game. Like, I can build here for hours just, you know, putting up, tearing down, putting up, tearing down. And that's really how I come up with all these ideas. Like, this crane idea was just a hybrid idea. Like, I've already built the egg base, I've already built the suspension bridges. I was like, you know, why don't we do an egg base at the end of a suspension bridge? Like, how cool would that be? And the truth is, I don't know. We're going to find out when this thing gets completed. You know, sometimes something looks amazing in my mind, and then I build it, and it sucks. You know, I hate it. I hate everything, and I just rip it out. So, yeah, we'll just have to see. So anyway, this is going to be a 6-sided building, guys. The way we get these started is with flooring. So I am going to go back to that timber triangle. And grain matters to me, so I always, you know, flatten out the grain. because I do like having that pattern look to it. So yeah, I always like to get my grains matched. And that's going to be one of the 6 sides. So now you can kind of see why we need triangle pieces. Okay, and do that again until you get 3 sides.
Weather warning. Incoming storm.
Weather warning! Incoming storm! What? Nobody wants that. But here I am, dealing with it. Oh wow, it was actually already orientated right. That never happens. Ah, nuts. Sometimes I get into a battle rhythm, you know, like hitting triggers, hitting bumpers, and I preemptively place, assuming it's going to be spun the way I need. And then it's not. And this one's having trouble finding its way. There we go. Wow, it's getting real tough to see, guys. I apologize for the storm here. And normally I would wait the storms out, but during a live stream I don't want to waste your all's time. So anyway, you got a donut going here. A 6-sided figure with 3 flat pieces on each side. That's what we're going for. And since I want the pinstripes, I'm going to put the base back in here. Actually, no, this is going to be mid. Well, no, I think I want base. No, let's do mid. Let's do mid. And we're just going to go, and this is how you start the egg. So, you know, real self-explanatory here. We're just basically getting the wall pieces and slips. The wall pieces installed. There I go again, you know, preemptively smashing that trigger. Ah! Bad fingers.
Protection falling.
And I should probably keep an eye on my hazmat protection. I have a feeling I'm going to be needing to go back to my freighter for more of the fun stuff.
Temperature levels stabilizing.
Oh, I need to catch up on a little bit more chat here. Now you said it's a pirate game. Wow, I wouldn't have guessed that. No building limit? Are you kidding me? No, I'm definitely going to have to check that out. Windrose. Yep, I'll definitely be checking that out. Is it a new game, or has it been out a minute? So, Demon Fan, yes, you are absolutely right. Icarus is very over the top on the demand. When I first started playing it, it felt well balanced. But now that I'm getting into it, it just kind of feels like all I'm doing is spinning stuff. Honestly, it's kind of taking out some of the fun out of it for me. When I feel like that's all I'm doing in a game anymore, you know, I start to lose interest. I'm still trying to push past that, you know, because I haven't quite hit burnout yet. But it's definitely starting to go that way, I'm not going to lie. Oh, I don't know, Polly. That's a good question. I honestly don't know how that works. Yeah, I would think if it's uploaded, it should be visible to other players. That's interesting. Bacon Bus, that's how I feel about my life. Good stuff. Yeah, those storms are pretty out of control. On Icarus, I mean, they give you a little bit of a grace period, but when you start taking damage, it's just like, ouch. So, Demon Fan, they actually do kind of tell you in Icarus when a storm's coming. You have to look at the weather report. Now, you know, I've never looked at that and said, oh, it's supposed to rain, you know, I'm not going to go anywhere, I'm just going to stay in my base. You know, I still go out and deal with it anyway, but there is kind of a heads up there that you're getting into some weather, and it'll tell you what, like windstorm, rainstorm, lightning storm. Now, if it says lightning storm or electric storm, that one I usually do wait out. I'll stay at the house, you know, waiting for that one to pass. Because that lightning is no freaking joke. Early release right now. Okay, noted. I wonder if that's on Xbox. I'm going to have to look that up. Yeah, Bacon Bus, I just started making composites. Yeah, that's a party. Yeah, the missions, I know, I've been slacking on that. Wow, 43. You're up there. Not on console. Oh, no. Well, that just ruined it for me, because I don't have a PC set up. The only computer I have I use for streaming, and I cannot do both on the same time. It doesn't work out well. Oh, well. Maybe we'll keep an eye out for that one for, you know, maybe a future console release. That would be nice. Oh, the lightning rods. Interesting. I saw those in the tech tree, but I didn't unlock them. Maybe I'll have to look back into that. Alright, guys, so the bases I showed you guys, they were 3 high. So I'm going to go ahead and, you know, just recreate that. Whoops. Doggone it. I should be eating spinach every time I accidentally do that. I would have already had a lot of spinach tonight. So since I've got some Icarus veterans on here, I just gotta ask, because this is something I've been wondering for some time now. Is there an overall goal or quest? Like, how do you beat Icarus? Is there a way to beat it? Like, is there an end game? Or is it really just, you know, a bunch of grinding? And, you know, I'm asking that respectfully, because I don't think I'm far enough into the game yet to know if there is some kind of an end goal. Other than, you know, just try to collect as many exotics as you possibly can. But, like, is there a storyline I'm trying to complete? Is there some... Uh-oh, what the heck just happened there? Oh, I fell down. I was like, whoa, what is wrong? Somehow I got out of build mode and I got back into foot mode. See, anyway, that's just been on my mind because, you know, I went into Icarus completely blind. I didn't know anything about the game. I read some things about, you know, what kind of game it was, and it sounded like there was a lot of questing. But now that I'm playing the game, I'm not really seeing any questing. So, again, it's been on my mind to ask.
Temperature levels stabilizing.
I like that. Collecting fiber, getting levels. Nice. Oh, good to know, Bacon Bus. Okay, thank you for letting me know that, because honestly, I've been wondering. Alright, yeah, sounds good, Polly. Hey, thanks for stopping in tonight. I know it's super late, guys, so I really appreciate you hanging here. Hope everything goes okay with your doctor appointment there. Have a good night. So yeah, I noticed that too, Demon Fan. There is a little bit of lore that comes with the different missions that I've done so far. Kind of get the feeling, you know, I'm a prospector. I'm there to basically aid in the gathering of said exotics, which is awesome. I just didn't know if it was all going somewhere, so it's nice to know there's some kind of an end game there. Thanks for letting me know that. It's hard for me to stick with the game if I know it's not really going anywhere. So yeah, definitely good to hear that it is. Okay guys, so again, 3 high. So I'm just going to do 1 up and 1 down from that ground level there. Or the mid-level, I should say. I'm having trouble finding my sweet spots today. Normally I'm pretty quick to kind of like estimate where it needs to be placed, and then I can just hit the trigger quickly. But I must be a little bit out of practice because like I'm having to fish for it. There we go. Now I'm starting to get my jam back. Okay, so hopefully I'm done with glass for a while because I think I'm getting really low on my frost wort. So that's pretty much it, guys. That's the shell of the walling. So now what we got to do is go back over to the skylights that I showed you here over on the stone builds. And same type of thing, guys. I just start snapping them in. Now I told you the variant to the second build that I showed you completed. So this is a 6-sided build. The other one is a 12-sided build because in between all of these 3-wall segments, there's like another little half angle. So I'll show you guys how I do that. And it's just basically inverting these. So what I would have done, you know, normally is built down 1 excuse me, and then I would have started doing that down there for the so that, like, picture this as being the bottom now of this structure. I know that's looking off right now, but pretend we're at the bottom floor. This is like as low as you wanted your egg base to go is at the top of these builds. So, you know, this is kind of where we're at now. We're down below. So yeah, we would angle those outward just like so. And, whoops, and you would go all the way around. There's more spinach. And you would go all the way around just like so. Come on, give me my snap point. And then from there, this would be like the bottom floor now. So let's see here, triangle. And unfortunately, these aren't going to snap, so I'll show you guys a trick to this. I mentioned earlier on, you're going to have to start placing dummy builds to get some of this stuff to go in the way you want. So this is a dummy build now. Then I can go back to my triangle. And these aren't going to stay here, so I'm just going to put them in however which way they go. But, yeah, then you would basically just put your flooring down. And notice this is going to overlap. That's okay. There's nothing you can do about that. They're just going to stick out a little ways. But that's why I didn't have a perimeter walkway in that building. It was like more away from the wall, and that was basically why, because I didn't like them sticking out. But anyway, what you would do from there is get another dummy build down, and then keep going with your triangle builds. Just like that. So that way it's, you know, you've got solid floor on the inside and you just have this little thing sticking out. It's not a big deal, really. They're barely noticeable unless you're really looking for them. You don't even really pay attention to them. So anyway, there's the flooring. So now what I would do from here, because you've got this gap, and that does not count as sealed. So that's not going to fly. So in order to seal that, the good news is this is about 1 wall piece wide. So what I would do here is get a couple of walls in. And, you know, again, I would go up 3 or just however. You can make these things as tall as you want, by the way. So, you know, if you want to put a lot in these bases, it's not a lot of floor space. I would recommend going up a bit higher and lower. Maybe, you know, like 5 high. So maybe like, you know, 2 down and 3 up or something like that. That would give you a couple extra floors to play with, you know, more stuff you can put in the base. But anyway, once you've got those walls going, it's real easy to fill in the gap. You just basically go to freeform here, and guys, you just have to eyeball it. So, you know, spend some time doing this because it's got a seal. So, you know, look at the highlights of the build. Make sure they overlap. about symmetrical with one side or the other, go ahead and place that and make sure it's actually sealed. And notice it's up a little higher. That's okay, guys. It's not going to kill anything. Actually, yes, it will. Stand by. I can't remember now how I overcame that. It'll come back to me.
Thermal protection.
I might have actually started it from the top. So let's say this was the top of your structure, and you've still got this big gaping hole here. That's okay. Hopefully I can show you guys, how to work with this. And again, getting back to the need for dummy builds. No, this doesn't feel right either. I'm missing a step here. I remember what I did. Okay, so basically what I had to do, get out of snap mode, and you'll have to place a dummy build and line that up. It's going to be rough math here, but try to line that up about where you think that wall build ends. So right about there is about where that would go, I guess. And then you can freestyle in this. Oh, nuts. I knew that was going to happen. Thank God I had flooring down there. Otherwise I would have fallen all the way down again. Okay, so yeah, get out of snap mode. And the good thing is you can move that dummy build if needed. But you see now how that's lined up perfect. So that's about what you want. And it may not be perfect to the exact pixel. But the main thing is make sure it's symmetrical on both sides because it has to be sealed. And guys, this is the hard part. Once you get that in, it gets easier from there. So you can actually probably put in... Oh, never mind. Dude, I'm way overthinking this. Oh my goodness. I knew there was a trick to this. I was just having trouble remembering. Okay, so that should snap. Because again, it's exactly one wall piece apart. So it shouldn't overlap. It should look like it fits right in there. So that's it for right there, guys. So forget all that other complicated stuff I was trying to show. I was just brain farting there. And now we should have a nice solid snap point. And that snaps and it's, kosher. It's going to seal everything up perfectly. And then from there, you can snap in and seal the angled builds. If I can find the magic snap point there. Okay, so now that is actually counted sealed. So I know they overlap there a little bit, but really that's the only way you can do it because there's not half pieces. We don't get to choose the angles. But guys, don't worry. That completely seals the base. You don't have to worry about, storm damage or anything of that nature. And then you would basically repeat that for the roof. So I'll show you real quick what the roof would look like. Okay, just like so. And then to keep going up, to more of a center point, you just have to overlap them. So I know it kind of looks funny, but when the whole thing is completed, it'll look a lot better. So anyway, that would be the 12-sided figure. And really this just gives you more space because instead of a 3x3 now, we're going to have a 3x3 with an extra build. So basically a 4x4. It just kind of rounds off the corners a little bit. So, again, just wanted to show you guys both designs because I was asked for the tutorial on that. And it is very tricky, it's very complicated, but that's how you get the roof to seal. And everything snaps. So let's get rid of all of that fun stuff. There goes my guy! Oh wow, he's actually still hanging out. I thought he would just fall. Well, I didn't feel safe. I figured I'd better get that out of the way. Okay, so let's go ahead and get our egg enclosed. I'll start with the roof. And these are going to overlap, and that's okay. It's the only way, again, to get it to seal. Come on, baby. Work with me here. And I do have some builds where I just left it open, you know, I just didn't care. I didn't want them overlapping, because I hate how it darkens it so much. And when you have, you know, 3 and 4 things overlapping each other, it just blocks out pretty much all the views. And the whole point of having a glass base is for the views. So, you know, there are builds where I just eat the storm damage while I'm in my base for the sake of having the nice views. So, you know, build it however you want. You know, maybe try it with and without, see which one you like better. Great thing is you don't have to follow this build tutorial, you know, exact. You can kind of choose how you want that to go and how you want your finished product to look. Okay, guys, so anyway, here, notice you've got a little bit of a gap there. The snap point is right in the middle, because, again, that's 3 builds. So, you know, the center one, it snaps there. But that's not going to seal. So, again, getting back to, you know, the problem that we run into here, and I'll just show you what that looks like. And that's why I left one of these open, because I still had the views. It wasn't darkening it so much. But again, the sacrifice is it's not going to seal. Now that's a trick. It's telling you stabilized, but believe me, it's not really stabilized. And it depends on, you know, where you're standing in the build. As you run around more and more, it'll kind of, it'll get you, is what I'm getting at. So anyway, the only way to really work around that is to just offset that a little bit from the snap point. And again, getting back to dummy builds, I'll show you how that works. So you're going to have to use a small floor piece and snap that in like right there. So now that's eating up half of this one piece. And that's what we want. So now what we can do is that should now try to... wait a minute, I didn't do that right. Hold that thought. Okay, once you get the half one in there, then you gotta snap something into that half piece. Oh, it's not gonna give it to me. Okay, hold up a second. You gotta really play with this. I'll figure it out here. There. Okay, now we should be able to place that, and it should have a snap point that lines up with that build. Bam. So that's how you split the difference. So now, you know, we can basically put 2 in here, and it fills in that space. So unfortunately, you have to do that on each side in order to, you know, get this thing sealed. So just remember, and you can use any builds. You don't necessarily have to keep going back to the... you don't necessarily have to keep going back to wood builds. You know, any builds work as long as they're the right size. Oh, wait a minute. See? I'm forgetting the steps. And I just did this like 10 seconds ago. There we go. Then, big piece. Oh wow, I just realized I've missed a grip of chat. I'm going to take a quick break here and catch up on that. Oh! I didn't know that, Demon Fan. I didn't realize they hadn't added in the world bosses yet. Okay. I assumed I'd be running into those here at some point. So yeah, Bacon Bus, on that note, you know, console edition being so far behind the PC version, I might actually take a little bit of a break from the game for that reason. Maybe give them a few weeks, you know, to push that update. I know they're working on it. to where it's more or less the same as the PC version, because I know we're missing a lot of content. So that's kind of about where I'm at with Icarus right now. You know, I'm just considering taking a bit of a break from it for that reason. In case Royal stops by. Make sure you have hot cocoa. It's not a base tour unless there's hot cocoa. Ooh, I like that Bacon Bus. Quarter-size builds. That sounds enticing. Man, I hope they have a console version. Ooh, that would be cool. A Tudor style or castle? Yeah, that'd be real cool. Bacon Bus, I don't know why. That's just something new YouTube started doing. Basically, whoever has the most chats, it says number one. Whoever has like the second most number of chats, it says number two. That's something very new they started doing a few weeks ago. Oh, wow, that's not good. Animals deleting? That's a glitch for sure. Yeah, that's another reason I want to give the game a few weeks so they can work out some of these glitches. I still have animals that are getting confused. They don't seem to know where to go for water. Gonna catch up on chat. Crunch, crunch, crunch. Yep, there's that super crispity apple. But hey, it's not chocolate. But yeah, I already had pizza tonight, so... You win some, you lose some. Actually, I do have hot chocolate. See? We're tracking. We're all on the same page here. Ew, kiwi sherbet. No freaking kidding. I'm winning as it should be. I like it. Alright, guys, sorry. I cannot multitask. It's theoretically impossible. I'm doing my best here. Alright, so... Actually, just to save time, I might... Let's do all of this, like, more methodically. And we can go large. I wish they gave you the snap points, like you could choose to like find the half snap point. That would save a lot of time with dummy builds. Okay, so I've got all my scaffolding in now. I can, or I should be able to just place all my roofing. I'll try to zoom in a little bit better there so you guys can actually see what I'm doing. And sometimes they don't orientate right, you just gotta hit that bumper until it goes the way you need it. And the good thing is once you have one in, the other one will snap to that one. So you really only have to go through the dummy builds, you know, one time. Okay, once you got them all in, now it should look symmetrical. It should look like the six-sided star on the roof. That's how you know you did it right. If any of that doesn't look symmetrical, that means something didn't snap in correctly, and that does happen, by the way. Sometimes it'll find some other thing to snap to, and it throws the whole thing off. But as long as it looks like a good, you know, symmetrical figure there, you are good to go. Rock and roll. So now you can go ahead, you're free to get rid of the dummy builds. So that's the main thing. that individual was having trouble with was trying to get the roof in. And that's pretty much how you'd do it. Okay, now for this one, we have to do the exact same thing, because notice you've got two, and we really only need one now to seal the roof off. Now you can just, you know, to save time, you can just go ahead and slap both in there, but they really start overlapping up here. It starts getting real busy, and I just don't like that aesthetically. So, for that reason, you know, normally I take the time. I do that again. And I get that it to where it's got the one centered, excuse me. So a whole bunch of dummy builds here. Wait a minute. Wow, how did I get so confused so fast? There we go. Almost looks like a pinwheel or something we got cooking there. So now here's where it gets real complicated. You've only got one center, so like you kind of have to do this one at a time. And this might actually be better from underneath. Oh no, I kind of have to be out on the roof. I wonder if this will work if I put them on the outside. I don't see why not. That'll be easier to delete that way. Not only that, I feel like I can see what I'm doing better. Actually, that was the snap point right there. It just wasn't orientated right. No, that's not it. There we go. Okay, so now that should be sealed. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. So you got to do that 6 more times. And I'll actually show you a little bit of a shortcut to that even. You can snap off that one floor build. So I'm just going to do that all the way around. And then I'll delete all the dummy builds all at once when I'm done. That'll be a lot quicker than the other way I was going to do it. And quick is good. Quick is our friend in this game. Because as some of you mentioned the other night, this is one of those games where you can log in, and I think you said 2 hours will instantly pass. Yes! And there are many reasons for this. Okay, so now I've got dummy builds down for everywhere I need them. Now I can actually go now too. And here's where it's going to get real interesting real quick. Trying to find the snap point that you need for each one of those. Oh wow, I actually got that one right off the bat. Maybe it helps like being orientated a certain way. Yep. So I'm kind of like forward facing now, and I am able to find it just right off the top. Wait a minute. Oh, nuts. That one didn't quite go in right. That one's not orientated correctly. There we go. Okay, and I think I missed one over here. Oh, I had it. Come on, baby. I had it. There it is. Okay, guys, and again, same rule applies. It should look completely symmetrical up here now. So, kind of like... I don't know what that even looks like anymore, but you see it's all like perfectly centered there. All those beams come in together to a point. There's 6 of them. That's how you know you did it right. So now you are free to rip out all the dummy builds. And believe me, take your time doing this, because I can't tell you how many times I thought I was aiming at the dummy build and I ripped some roofing out and then I had to do the whole thing all over again. Not awesome. But anyway, you can see that's completely sealed now. It even gives a nice aesthetic, you know, from the side. It kind of looks like a little design at the top. And we can do the exact same thing on the bottom, guys. So basically what we're going to do is all of this only upside down now to seal off the bottom part of our egg. So yeah, Bacon Buzz, of course I did. And it was a cauliflower crust pizza, so you know, at least I got some parts of some random vegetables today. I can't really claim it's healthy, but it is what it is. Okay, got you there, Demon Fan. Hey, thanks so much for hanging out tonight. I hope I didn't miss you, but definitely appreciate seeing you. I hope you have a good one tomorrow. We'll catch you later. Yeah, exactly. That's a good way to put that. Multitasking. You're really only doing half of each thing, if that. Yeah. It kind of does look like a weird upside down... I mean, it's a 6-sided star, so I don't know like what that is, but it's geometry. Is that supposed to be angled? I'm not sure which one you're talking about now. Yeah. It kind of does. It's got that design to it. It's just a happy accident with the way the 6-sided figures come to a point. So I really enjoy that. Like, granted, I wish we could have something that was just solid, you know, without all the overlapping, but it is kind of a happy accident that it looks cool at the end of the day. So you think it looks like a sphincter now? Wait till I get to the bottom. Not 0 on the carb count. Definitely not 0. Not 0 at all. And I ate the apple just because, you know, it was some kind of healthy food. In my mind, it counters the effects of the pizza, see? There's always a plan in my mind, always. Yeah, I know what you mean. It kind of looked like the pinwheel or whatever. I've got a build in one of my bases where I left something like that down just because it was a cool pattern. It's like in the middle of the floor of one of my bases. And I couldn't even tell you now which base that would have been. It may even be a deleted base now. But, yeah, anyway, just again, happy accidents. Alright, let's get back to work here. So now I got to work on the bottom. And the bottom is every bit as hard as the top. So that's fun. But you know, the end product, it does look good. So you know, it's worth doing this. And you only have to do it once. Now granted, you know, if you build the base and then you're like, you know, I wish it was 2 more floors high. You can do that, but guess what you gotta redo? The whole roof. Oh yeah. So, the pizza idea, I actually buy like a whole grain, pita bread, and I'll make my own homemade pizzas out of that, because you can control the cheese, you can control the sauce, basically you're in control of what goes into the pizza. And the crust being whole grain, you know, it's not as many carbs, there's a lot of, carbs that your body doesn't take in because it's whole grain. So, I don't know, that's just the way I like to make pizza. It's a heck of a lot healthier, that's for sure. Gotcha, Bacon Bus. I'll make sure I'll remember. Leviticus Sphinctius. Yep, that's what that's called. Don't ask me how to spell that. And guys, I'm going to pause game here for just a moment. I am getting a stream warning. We've been having a lot of internet problems lately because of all the terrible storms here in the Midwest. So, whenever we get a bad storm system roll through, this is just kind of common. It usually gets right here in about a minute or two. Let's give it a second. So, Bacon Bus, I'm not the best cook. Like, I really do enjoy restaurant food. The thing that keeps me away from it is, well, for one, the expense. But, just because they add so much sugar, so much salt, because they want it to taste really good. And it does. But, you know, I don't always want to accept all the extra non-desirables in my body. So that's mainly what keeps me away from restaurant food right there. Okay, stream health is good again. But wow, it's gotten expensive lately. Like ordering in. You know, how does this work? You go to DoorDash, you get a $12 meal. And by the time all the fees and taxes and delivery fees and service fees, whatever in the heck that is supposed to mean. Look at that bridge, guys. Very cool. That $12 meal ends up being like $35. I'm like, okay. You know, I get people are greedy, but come on, like... That is just absolutely ridiculous. You know, back in the day, you could order a pizza from Domino's for $6. That included frickin' delivery. You didn't have to pay an extra fee. Tips were expected, absolutely. But the price of the pizza was the price to get the pizza to your door. Like, why don't we get back to that? Anyway, I'm off my soapbox. Yeah, see, if I was a better cook, I'd try to do that too, but every time I try to recreate restaurant food, I end up with something that nobody literally wants to eat, so I just kind of gave up a long time ago. Alright guys, I need to get back to my function here. So this is really the only quick and easy one, is the very first. Actually, yes and no. So I can show you guys a little bit of a shortcut. Instead of doing that whole thing, you know, so many times like I did, I will show you a shortcut. So we're going to get all these in. Just like so. And then the middle one, we're gonna take advantage of that being there. So go ahead and put 2 of them out. And that's gonna get the sphincteritis or orifice completed. So this is just a lot quicker than placing all those other dummy builds that I was showing the first time, at least for the very bottom part. So notice now we got that 6 prongs going together, you know, nice, tight, neat little spot there, so we know we did that right. And then what we can do is rip out that middle one that got us down to that point. Another beautiful thing I love about No Man's Sky is they give the luxury of floating builds. So it's not like if you rip them all out, the thing just crumbles and falls. It'll stay there for the end of the days. Like, it's awesome. So now we really only have to put the dummy builds in here one more time. And this is actually, I think, easier going down. Let's test my theory here to see if my memory is good. So I think we have to do that. And then... oh, it won't switch orientation. Okay, well, it was a good try. So there's going to be a lot of dummy builds coming. Wow, it's okay, bear with me, it'll come back. Oh, it's not going to give that one to me. Okay, well, I'll just do it this way. Make sure that actually snaps before I go all the way around here. Okay, we're good. So I'm gonna have to do it just like that. Around the world in 80 days, placing dummy builds for our sphinctus orifices. I'm trying to make that sound Roman, because the Romans were the one that invented the term handing your butt to you, so you know it makes sense. Actually, I don't know. I'm just talking nonsense here. The Romans were responsible for a lot of inventions, but possibly not that one. Okay, I think we got all of our dummy builds in. Really, this build would go in a lot quicker if you didn't have to do all this to get these things in the way you wanted. Alright, low, got it. But once you got the scaffolding in, the build really is quick. It's like putting the scaffolding in takes longer than just, you know, constructing the shell. Okay, just like so. Everything looks symmetrical, which means we did it right. Yepers. So now to rip those other dummy builds out, I'm going to have to get outside the shell here somehow, and of course I'm completely sealed in right now. And there's no way I'm ripping out one of those complicated builds. Oh, there's those flyers, by the way. I can actually show them to you now without the hologram, like trying to mess it up. I can't really get close to it. They're quite fun to fly, though. Like, it's definitely worthwhile to check them out. Okay, guys, so we've got it completely sealed now. This is a completely sealed base and sky bridge getting us out to the base, so no storm damage here anymore. And just to show what that looks like now, Okay, now see, I might want a bigger counterweight on that because it kind of looks like maybe there's too much mass out there. I don't know, I'll come back to that. But yeah, I might extend that counterweight back a little further. But there's the overall idea, guys. That's kind of what I was going for. The crane look. Like, the crane is holding the base out in front of it. And just to show you, like, the awesomeness of having a completely enclosed glass base. Like, you know, if it wasn't for the overlapping builds, you'd be able to see through it a lot clearer. Unfortunately, it darkens the more they're overlapped. So, you know, we do the best with what we've got. But yeah, it kind of looks like a flower, a sunflower up there or something now. Just happy accidents with designs coming together. But, I just like the beauty of this game. Sunsets and sunrises are always on point. Night skies are usually to die for. Some of the planets glow, and you guys know how I feel about that. It's gorgeous. I love it. So, you know, making glass bases makes sense. So anyway, guys, I'm about an hour and a half in, and we got the structure built. So now, as far as the flooring goes on the inside, to kind of replicate what I had over on the other base, I'll show you guys some different stairs, you know, different floors and stuff that you guys can do. The trickiest one was putting vaults in there, because the vaults are taller than a floor. So, you know, this is how high a wall is, so the next floor would be like right up there. The vaults are just too fat. They're too big for their own britches. So, you know, this creates a problem when you're trying to place a floor above this. You know, this sticks up a good ways into that next floor. So I'll show you guys how I recess that bottom level to fit the vaults in there if you guys want vaults. And again, you can make these as big as you want. You can make them as tall as you want. You can make them actually, you know, bigger than 3x3. You can go to like 4x4, 5x5. Now, if you want this bridge connection to be centered, it has to be an odd number. So, you know, you'd have to go 5x5x5x5x5, you know, 6-sided building. But that would be a really big base. You'd have all sorts of floor space in here. You could pretty much build to your heart's content. All your vaults would fit, no problemo. It'd be a great day in the neighborhood. Won't you be my neighbor?
Incoming storm.
So anyway, I will rip this floor out. And I know I need to catch up on chat here again. Apologies, guys. Used to be able to... Yeah, I don't know what happened to the food industry, but... You know, the funny thing is, these companies keep telling us it's because of costs. You know, COVID this and costs that. And this is what it costs now to bring us this product. But the funny thing is, through COVID and it all, the CEOs still got richer and richer year over year. Now, how does that happen? Well, it happens with the ridiculous prices that we're all paying now. So when they're talking about costs, they're really just talking about their own bottom line. And it's sad. Well, at least your kids like your cooking. That's a rarity. Shinktus. I like it. The Devil's Starfish. The Devil's Starfish. Maybe I should call it that. Oh, I can't even see it now because of the storm. Hey, wait a minute. Why am I taking storm damage?
Thermal protection for...
We're sealed. Oh. Heh. Wait a minute. Something's wrong. This shouldn't be happening. I don't know what's causing that. Unless it just took a minute for the game to, like... Once I plugged that hole, that's probably what it was. Yeah, sounds like you got a cool freighter base there, Bacon Boss. So I haven't put a lot of time into my freighter builds. I get them as big as I need them for, like, growing crops or whatever. Matter of fact, I can take you to one now because I'm out of glass. I can read chat while this is, like, thinking and stuff. So I'll grab some more frostwort from there. It's just a real small, basic build. But I like the openness of it. Like, I try to match floor builds so it looks like a nice, big, wide open space.
Technology recharge. Weather update. Storm clearing.
Watsumaz. Sphinctus Maximus. Great Sphinx, yep. Wow, you're really running with that one. Thanks, Bacon Bus. Appreciate that. Appreciate that, Pink Parrot. Yeah, they're a lot of fun. I really like these egg bases just because you can do so much with them. Yeah, that too, Bacon Bus. Farmers are still making about the same way, just like it's really all just going into the CEO's pockets. Just breathe, and we will get you through this. I like having backup when I'm building. See? It's all coming together. Okay, so anyway, as far as my freighters go, I just like to keep the floors the same. So in the build menu here, you notice you got different sections. All these floors match, so you can put all of these compartments butted up next to each other, and everything's going to match. It'll open up into a nice big cavity. I said cavity. Okay, we need to get off that subject completely because this is going to start turning into a non-G-rated stream. So anyway, nice big open room. We'll leave it at that. And so that's just the way I do my freighters. You know, I like to keep like builds together for that openness because I hate feeling like a caveman in my freighters. This one I got a little bit because, again, I didn't make this one real large. It was just really as big as I needed it to be. So I capped off all the peripherals with the glass builds because I really like, again, visuals and being able to look out. Especially when the planets and stuff are really cool to look at. But here's my grow house. And again, guys, all the same types of builds come together. Makes it look like one big open space. I really like these grow bits because you don't have to power them. You know, that's the problem with putting in grow houses on the ground, is you have to power it. You know, if you can find an electromagnetic hotspot, great. But, you know, that's extra builds. You got to put the things down. You got to wire everything together. Every build counts against you. With the freighter, all you have to do is install the room. It's pre-powered. You know, 4 grow beds in each one. Bada bing, bada bing. It's just a lot more user-friendly. And then on the other side, it's just basically my crafting area with all my vaults. And, again, just nothing too complicated. I got all 10 vaults in here, kind of on the outer edge of the room here, and down the middle, I've got a big row of grinders. Normally what I'll do is I'll put 2 rows of grinders in the middle of all my vaults. And, you know, that way I can just do a lot of spinning. Like, if I need a lot of dihydrogen jelly or, you know, making dihydrogen from jelly for, you know, frigate fuel or just whatever I may need, I can do a lot of grinding all at once. I fill them all up. I go off and have fun doing other things. By the time I come back, you know, I've got it all ready to rock and roll. So that's just how I do freighters, because, again, I like the openness of each compartment, rather than feeling like a caveman every time it, like, changes floor and ceiling and walls and all that fun stuff. So basically what I've got now is 3 large rooms, instead of, you know, just it being all clunky and mashed together. So, again, just real basic, real quick. Yeah, that would be cool, Bacon Bus. There is actually a way to do that. So you can warp to some of the freighters that are damaged. Actually, I think you can warp to any of them. Let me test my theory here. But I know I've taken a look back at my freighter from one of these And I was like, oh, you can actually see the outside of your freighter. Very cool. Manage fleet. And it's anybody's guess. Like, it kind of shows you a highlight, like where it's going to be. So I try to find something kind of close-ish. But like more level. And you can't actually warp to that one. I know I'm really getting sidetracked here, but anyway, just try to find one that's kind of close-ish. Like if I could get that one to highlight, that might be a good one to go to. And then once you warp over there, you've got a big view of all your ships, including your freighter. The thing is it doesn't necessarily show you a good view of like your built rooms. It just shows you this skin. You know, it kind of looks the same. So yes and no, I guess, is what I'm getting at. And I know I've got all these missions that have returned. I'm just trying to get back to the build tutorial here. And I need to rename this base. That name is a nightmare just looking at it. So yeah, that pirate freighter, that's a lot of fun. I mean, it's varied, so, you know, it's a little bit different. And I don't know, I don't have one in any of my current save files, but I'll never forget when that update happened and you could, you know, get a pirate freighter. I was like, well, I gotta get one of those. I did, and I started building it, and I was like, well, it's cool, it's fun, but I don't know, at some point I lost interest. But yeah, sounds cool. Like, they're definitely a lot of fun. Alright, let's get back over. Ooh. That might be my thumbnail right there when the time comes. I'll have to get my ship out of the way. Yeah, that would be cool. Like if you could fly by in your starship and see the build the way you built it. I don't know why they don't, to be honest. You can see the bases. Like, why not the freighter? Interesting. Alright guys, so let's get to work on these floors. I'm going to do the bottom one first because, again, that's the vault, and that's going to be the trickiest part of this whole process. So what I like to do is kind of get it over to this angled build. I'll have one staircase going up, one staircase going down. So I'm going to get that all the way around here, rip out this complete flooring. That was really just to get the walls installed, so that was kind of dummy build scaffolding in and of itself. And then from here I like to branch off for the different floors. So to do that, one should snap. Whoops. Well, I've been doing that all night. What is happening here? I'm making a mess. That's what's happening here. Alright, so again, that should snap, and that's easy peasy. That gets you up to the next floor. Now, that one is going to be against the window. So, you know, if you don't want it that way, that's fine. You can put them more in the middle here. What I like to do on one of my other egg builds is I kind of put two right in the middle. That way, you know, you come off the sky bridge, bam, right into a staircase, you go up into another floor, and it's kind of just a fun design, you know, but it's more centralized. It's not real big, it's just more or less a viewing platform. A couple of quick items on there, like a nutrient processor. You know, again, build it, it's No Man's Sky. If you don't like it, rip it out, try it again. You can do that until your heart's content. So anyway, I've got one staircase going up now for one level. The next one is going to go down, and this one you're going to have to snap up against the wall, because it's not going to go onto this build right. So it's a little bit tricky, it's a little bit awkward. There it is right there. So this is going to be the only kind of clunky one because, again, it's like half of that angle, so it doesn't line up perfect. But you can still kind of get up here. You know, you might have to give that jetpack a quick boost, but sometimes if I hug the wall, I can just walk on up and I don't have to worry about the jetpack. Sometimes. Right now it seems to be... Oh, it worked. So anyway, just keep that in mind. You'll just have to hug the wall as you go up and down the stairs there. But it's got this fun design to it. It's kind of like crisscross applesauce. Now below, again, you're going to have to recess this next level because of the pesky vaults being so fat. So what I did on my other build was I went into a triangle and I snapped that in. If I can find the snap point. I'm trying to snap to the wall here. Oh, you cannot snap. For some reason, the triangle builds don't snap. Notice, you know, I'm trying to snap this in. It's not snapping to the walls. I don't know why, guys. It's just No Man's Sky. So, you know, unfortunately, you just have to put a dummy build in here to make this happen. But you only have to do it once. So just go ahead and stick your dummy build out there, and then you can snap the triangle to that. I don't know why they didn't just let you put the thing there to begin with, but again, it's No Man's Sky, it's not perfect. So yeah, what I do from here is I recessed by using a railing, and then you can snap another one below that. So this is going to be my new platform. I might actually have to do that with the dummy build. That's right, the angle builds won't go onto that, so hold that thought. Okay, then the square one should go. So now that's recessed. And again, that snaps right onto that railing. I hope you guys can see that okay. But that's how I get it down a little bit lower. And actually, something still isn't right. Hold that thought. Yeah, that's right. Wait a minute. Normally, when you're taking a multiple choice test, the first instinct is the correct one. So let's test that theory here. No, I didn't have it protruding out like that. And I might have to warp back over to the other base and take another look at that, because now I can't remember how I got it in there. Apologies, guys. I just looked at this thing, too, because I knew I'd forget this. And here I am again forgetting it. Wait, is it this save file? See, this is the problem when you have to have so many save files because of that stupid construction limit. You tend to not have any clue where anything is anymore. I think it's this one. Yeah, I'm sure you're right about that, Bacon Bus. Like, they're trying to, you know, their servers are quite busy. Everybody that uploads a base, it has to remember that. It has to remember all the builds, where they're at, what planets, just, you know, I'd imagine it's a pretty big beast, so to speak. We're gonna pretend that didn't just happen. Let's do the time warp again. Yes! Yeah, I do the same thing. That's why I'm always singing little ditties during some of my streams, because they come right to mind, and I'm like, well, I have to sing that now. Alright, the good news is I should be able to do this build in one stream instead of multiple, like some of my prior tutorials. So it's going to be a longer stream, but it'll be all in one. So anyway, this is a tour I just did recently, but we're not here for this. I don't think this is the right save file. I think I have to jump profiles. Doggone it. Yep, I have to jump profiles. See, I had the right instinct the first time. I should have just listened to myself. Man, I don't know which profile I need to go to. Might be this one. See, I notice when I'm flying around on my starship, the base doesn't always render in right. It kind of like picks and chooses what it renders, I guess, based on how busy the computer can process it, or how well it can. I think we're all in our 50s here, so it's all good. It's all good in the neighborhood. Yeah, no kidding. 2 hours every time I change profiles. That would be... We'd be here for days. Okay, so this is it. Finally. This is another flyer, by the way, and I can show you a planet address here just in case you are interested. There's two flyers here. So you've got this blue one, which is gorgeous. And you've got this other red one, again, which is gorgeous. They both glow. One's a real pretty, like, fire truck red with some highlights on it. You can probably see that better here. It's just a real nice contrast. They're gorgeous. I love these things. Like, whoever had the idea to put stuff like that in here, I owe them a beverage. Okay, so again, getting back to the vaults being too high, I had to stair step that up just a little bit. But here's where I'm getting confused. Okay, so it looks like I have the... Okay, so it looks like I did do that. It looks like I recessed, just like I started doing. So I think I had it right. It just didn't look right, because it looked like it was sticking out too far. But that was the butt end of the triangle. So yeah, if I'm doing this right, that triangle there should be... Yep, okay, good. So that is right. So it doesn't stick out a lot. It's just really this little tip corner of the triangle and a little bit of the stairs, because, you know, the bottom build angle's in here. But we have to recess the floor to accommodate the vaults. Okay, so I'm going to look at this one more time. So the top of the triangle... is offset a half a build. No, it's right on the money. It's right on that. Wait a minute. Oh, okay, that's what's off. So how did I get that stairwell in there? I see. I curved the floor around so it was more... You didn't get stuck on there every time. Okay, so I've got a half build in there, then staircase. Okay, that's what's throwing me off. I knew something wasn't right. That's what the something was. Okay, hopefully I can remember all that now when I get back to my other... The joys of doing live streams. You never know if you're going to have a hiccup like that and you're wasting everybody's time. Apologies, guys. And then I got to go back to this save file. Yep, your people are here. So Bacon Bus, it's funny because, you know, in our age bracket, we all grew up with Star Wars, you know, when that was like the best movie ever made. And then Star Wars 3, where Princess Leia was Jabba the Hutt's slave, and that was awesome too. But I just recently played the game Star Wars Outlaws, and I loved it. It had the humor, the Star Wars humor was in there. There was a lot of references to like that generation when Star Wars first came out. Like, the voice acting and all the NPC interactions and stuff, the little jokes that your character throws out, it was awesome. I actually did a stream series for that recently. So, like, if you're curious to see that, you know, check that out real quick. But, yeah, I'll be playing that one again soon. I absolutely loved it. So yeah, they're kind of blue-purple. Blue-purple-ish. It's kind of a weird tint. Yeah, I'll put those small stairs in there. So that's how we reconcile where the stairs end to get down to that recessed floor. So I'll be putting that in there for sure. You pet your belly and all... Yes! Teamwork! Yeah, I really liked that Star Wars Outlaws. It had a lot of problems at launch, so a lot of people bought it, quit playing it because it was just glitched, and they like made you keep replaying a lot of the levels because if you got caught, like they forced you into stealth mode. So if you got caught, like they put you back like 2 hours or something. It was ridiculous. So, you know, there was a lot of hate on that game when it launched, and I understand why. But here in 2025, 2026, it's a fun game. Like, they've addressed all that stuff. Definitely not the same game at launch. So, anywho. So, yeah, if it's been a while since you've played it, you might want to try giving that another go. It's definitely been improved. Okay, so there's that floor piece. Now we got it. And then I need to put my dummy build out here. Just like so. Go ahead and recess that bad boy. Whoops. Man, it's kind of hard to see, guys. I know I'm doing my best here. And then our next dummy build there. Triangle piece, dummy build. Now this is the one that's going to matter. The one that goes next to that. So that's, you know, if you're particular about which way your grains are facing, this is where it starts to matter. I think I want them going that way. So the good news is, once you do that, it's done. Then you can rip out that dummy build, and I'll delete those later. Oh! Ouch! And then what I'm going to do is go all the way across. Dude, look at that. It automatically got right for me 2 times in a row. What? We're on a roll now. Okay, so again, we just want the tip of that sticking out. So now we've got this, you know, this difference now between the bottom of these stairs and this, and that's where I put that little staircase in, because that'll snap. Oh no, that doesn't snap. That's right, I remember having fun with this before. So that for whatever the reason, the top of this won't snap into the stairs. You could do it like that, but I didn't like that. Like, it didn't feel like it flowed good. For one, it doesn't match, you know. It's got this funny little space. It's just not for me. You know, that's an easy way to do it, but it's just not the way I liked it on the finished product. So the way I actually put that in was, now unfortunately I cannot snap this to the triangle build. It'll only do the top part, not the bottom part. It would be great if I could, but it just doesn't work that way. So, I think I went into freeform mode here. And spin your partner round and round. No, that's not how I did it. How did I do this? I wasn't able to snap. So I honestly don't remember how I angled that in there to get it that way. But anyway, this is another way you can do it. Just put an extra block in and then small stairs. But the thing I didn't like about this was it felt like it chewed up an awful lot of floor space, whereas the other one, it was more like streamlined. It went right down into the thing. So if I can figure that out, this might take me a minute to scratch my brains here. Or maybe I need to massage my brains. And then maybe it'll all come back to me. Doggone it, I keep doing that. Maybe I should, like, finish the floor first. So I don't keep, you know, having to jetpack back up here. I'm not going to worry about floor grain right now. I can fix that offline. For now, I just kind of want to put the floor down and save time on this stream here. I know we're going to be pushing a longer stream tonight. So, I pretty much just like to get this out. Just like that. So this is my bottom floor. And I intentionally left it flat on this side on purpose, because this is where I had my silos for, like, resources. But, I mean, you can really do whatever you want down here, you know. Go ham. You can flush that up if you want. But this is the way I did my other base, so I'll just replicate that. Now, bear with me. So you said I had a small... Yeah, I remember that. The small little sliver was sticking out. Okay. I might have had to put a dummy build in up here first. Yep, that's what I did. Okay. Now we're cooking with grease. And then, yeah, I lined up that. See, I knew it would come back to me. And this is kind of an eyeball game here, you know, it doesn't have to be perfect. So it's more or less the way I had it. In fact, I probably had that sticking just a little bit more forward. But that's that little piece that sticks out. And it's kind of like a curved stairwell. See, I really like that. It's just a matter of getting it better centered and angled with the actual... So I want it to look like it's going into the triangle piece on purpose. And I might have even had it pushed in a little bit further, because I remember... No, I see it now. It should be kind of flush with that stair. I could even like put it more over here. You know what? Bird's eye view would be more helpful here. And that's another thing, is you gotta think about the railing. Something still doesn't feel right. Man, I'm gonna have to go back and look, because I don't know what I'm doing right now. Man, I knew I was gonna get stuck here, because I spent so much time on this to get them in the way I wanted on that other build. Like... Oh wait, no, this is right. This is right. Okay, yeah, scratch that. I don't have to go back. No, this isn't right. Sorry, guys. I have to do it again. But at least now I know where I'm going. Unfortunately I can't. My phone is dead. Thank you, though. I'll see it here in just a second. It's a matter of, like, remembering how to actually put it in there, and I just don't remember what I did now. At least I got the floor in. See, that is actually... It almost looks like it's right on. It actually looks like it belonged, you know, snapped to that side, that half of the triangle. It went right up against that half piece. So... For the life of me, I don't remember how I would have placed that. It's definitely freeform. It's just a matter of, like, trying to remember how I found that. This doesn't work. I remember that, guys. This took me a long time to figure out, so, like, bear with me here while I try to remember this. Oh, I cannot see what I'm doing over there, can I? Okay, so I think that's how I did it right there. I went off that railing, 3 small builds, and then you should be able to snap that into that. Another thing I can't really see. Yep, that's, well, yeah, that's actually all snapped. Okay, so yeah, I can actually do that right off the railing. Okay, see, I knew there was a trick to that. But wow, I spent a lot of time figuring that out. Thanks so much, Bacon Bus. I appreciate you having my back, man. I'll remove those someday. I'm just trying to get through this here, like... See, that shouldn't be happening. The only thing I can think of is something isn't quite snapped right somewhere. I don't know. This doesn't happen on any of my other egg bases, though. It's like it takes the game a while to realize it's supposed to be sealed. I don't know why. But this is the only base that's ever done anything like that. Oh well. Okay, so now... let's go ahead and get this railing in. And I... Wait, did I not finish putting the floor down? I guess not. Wait a minute. I did finish putting the floor down. Why is it gone? Oh, maybe because I didn't save. Yeah, see, I'm still... yeah, this shouldn't be happening. Am I missing a wall or something? Like... all this is sealed. Oh well. Okay, so let's rip that out. And now that should snap right in. Booyah, baby. Okay, so the only, like... no, that isn't right either.
Weather update. Storm clearing.
Okay, now, didn't that just work on my other one? Like, why is this off? So, wow, you're looking at it from a contractor's perspective. That's awesome. I just read that chat. See, I don't know what I'm doing wrong here, guys. Like, literally just had this ironed out on the other one, for whatever the reason. That's correct. Well, I'm really stuck on this right now. This is definitely going to make the blooper reel. I don't understand what is off right now. Woe is me. I'm trying to make sense of what you're saying there, though. With putting the rail on the stairs first. Yeah, something's off here, and I don't know why. You're right, this railing should be back closer to that staircase. So guess what I get to do again? Maybe... Maybe I free-formed those railings, and I'm going to go back and look at that one more time. Hopefully the last time. This is getting ridiculous. But small victories, at least I know where I'm going now. I remember this was complicated, like when I was trying to get these stairs in there like this, I spent a lot of time on this part, so I really do apologize, guys, for the delay in game here. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down for the third time. My game's gonna explode because of all this, like, profile swapping. It's not gonna know where I'm at anymore. Watch it, like, mash all my worlds together all at once. That would be a party. Okay, so just to make sure I'm looking at this right. Yes. This is in the correct spot. So I must not have... Okay, there's a gap there, noted. So these must be free-formed. These must not be snapped in. Yep, see that overlap there? Okay, now I'm seeing it. Now I'm seeing it. Okay, so yeah, I just have to eyeball these in. And then once I get that in... So it's pretty much lined up with where that would end up. Wow. Okay, well, I'll just do the best I can here. But the good news is once I get those railings in, the stairs will be relatively easy to actually place because that's just the snap. And yeah, it's not perfect, you know, I did the best I could here. But that was the most fluid I could feel like I was going up and down the stairs at least. Okay, I know that's right. This really is the hardest part of this whole build, honestly. This is what I spent the time on right here, was this freaking connection, because there's just no other way to do it. Like, this game doesn't give you the pieces for the half angles. So when you start getting creative with the triangle stuff, you know, you run into this. But I think we're good now. Whoops. Yeah, I know what you mean there, Bacon. That railing, that went in last because there's no snap point for that. You have to, like, rotate it on its axis. So I did all the railings last. Or the staircase railings, I mean, like the bannermen or whatever. I don't know what those are called. Railings. Staircase railings. So yeah, that's where I'm going wrong here. That needs to come out. Ouch. And then I need to freeform this in to where... That's not going to be right either. I must have freeformed all of those in there, because they're not going to line up right if I snap any of them. There we go. It's really tough to eyeball and freeform this stuff, like really tough. There it goes. Okay, now it's a matter of like... Right about there. Trying to get that as straight as possible, level with the other one. Now hopefully this goes in right. It'll be close enough, I think, for tutorial purposes here. Now, fingers crossed, this should go in here about right. Okay, there it goes. Woo! Okay. So yeah, that all lines up good. So that's close enough for government work. I'm not getting hung up, stuck there. Now I can rip all these dummy builds out. Sorry, guys. One little teeny tiny half stairs was like half of tonight's stream. I know. Believe me, I know. But at least we got it sorted now. So that was about here. So what I'm aiming at is that little oval thing there on the floor build. That's where my crosshairs are, kind of like right to the left of that. And then again, just kind of bring it down. And just make sure that you don't see any of the floor wall protruding through the bottom of the railing. That's how I know I'm about straight. So right there, it's on the right. Over here, you kind of see it on the left. Right, left, and then like right in the middle where you don't see either one, you know you're good. And then you just got to bring it down to where it looks like it's flush with the other one. It's all eyeballing, so you know it's not going to be perfect exact to the pixel, but it'll get it in there. And we can go ahead and now get this stuff done. Okay, so now we're cooking with grease. One, two, three. That should snap right in. Boom, baby. And it almost looks like it belongs there. You know, you'd never know you had to go through all that heartache just if you were, like, walking through the base on a tour. But wow, yeah, that's really complicated. So there it is. There we have it. Banister. Thank you, Pink Parrot. See, you guys got my back. Banister. Okay. Thank you so much. Yeah, that was definitely a brain teaser. My brain is literally itchy right now, but I can't reach it to scratch it. So, bingo! Yippers! So it's funny, Bacon, I have those moments too where like I forget somebody's like near me or next to me or something and then there's movement and I like freak out real quick. Oh, that's awesome stuff. Oh, good stuff. Yes, there was a lot of focus there. Wow, my brains are like roasted right now. All over a half piece of staircase. Like, wowzers. I just wanted to put that in perspective. Like, half of this tutorial was the stairs, just saying. Okay, so again, we should be all sealed up and good to go now. And guys, the banisters are a pain. So kind of like what we had to do down here, you know, left, right, trying to line it up, flush it out. None of the banisters are going to be perfect. They're all going to be a little bit different from each other. Since we're talking about it, I'll just go ahead and place one real quick. But you have to get into the axes. So you have to go to free flow. Then you have to hit the right joystick in, and you're going to get these different circles. So if you hit it once, you get this axis. You hit it again, you're going to get this axis. I don't know if you guys can see that. Hit it one more time, you're going to get this axis. So the one we need, of course, is this one. And then you just got to use the bumpers here to try to get it the right angle. So I do it like this, you know, so at least I have the angle matched. And at least the best as you can possibly get it, because the bumpers aren't precise. So, you know, it's never going to actually be perfect, but you can get it close enough. So once you get it, you know, close enough, then you have to try to aim that cursor. It's kind of like on this stair, it doesn't work. You have to be like out forward on this stair. So I don't know why, but so you just have to find the green light. And notice you can kind of see some stairs poking through on the right. So you have to kind of move that around until you don't see any stairs poking through anything. And then you just try to find a good center for that. So what I'm going to do is go up here to where it looks like it's... And again, make sure no stairs are sticking out. So yeah, the right stairs are sticking out there. Stairs are sticking out there. So just try to find the center to all that. So right about there. And I can probably bring that down just a hair. Right about there. Ah, nuts. Why did I do that? Wrong buttons. I meant to hit the trigger. Well, good enough for demo purposes. And then once you got that one in, then you can snap. And that should more or less line. Now, it's not perfect. You know, I don't think I actually snapped that. I think I probably freeformed that in there too and overlapped them. Right about there. A lot of eyeballing here. So, you know, just do your best. I spent time on this, I'm not going to lie. This is probably the most frustrating part of the entire build, was doing these stupid stairs. I'm having a lot of deja vu elements in my memory coming back right now. And if you're not happy with this gap, you know, you can replace this one, you know, if you want. I'm not going to do that right now on stream, but just so you know, you can manipulate that a little bit. So that's pretty much it, guys. Now on the banisters, you know, I do those all the way around. So on this one, you know, luckily you got the glass on one side. You only have to feel the paint on that inner side there. But on this one, I did put banisters on both inside and outside. And I think to place those, I actually had to rip this wall out, you know, so I could get a good angle on that. So, you know, feel free to do what you got to do there to get your banisters in. But that should only take one. Because it's only one staircase. There's no extensions on that or anything like that. But same type of part. You kind of got to walk it back and forth until you've got no stairs poking through. And so yeah, that's the one side there. Now, since I don't have a lot of resources being piped into this base, I think maybe what I'm going to do is extend the flooring out. But that's not going to be user-friendly here with the railing. That might be actually why I straighted this whole thing off on my other build. Because I realized the railing was going to stick out way far into it. And that's a shame, you know, I can't line all this stuff up nice and neat and really have everything snap. Okay, I guess for right now we'll just call that good. So anyway, as far as the vaults go, let's get back to what we actually came here to do. Let's get these vaults down. Now in the center here, I am going to have to line these up, right? because that's kind of like your guide for the vaults, and I'll show you what I'm talking about here in just a moment. Come on. Of course, it won't give me the angle I need. Really? Bro. There we go. So on the center portion specifically, that's what I did here. So that when you're standing at this vantage point, all these lines are like facing you. So you can look at this build, they're horizontal. Look at this build, they're horizontal. Look at this build, they're horizontal. That's going to be key for the vaults. So what I did was I started with the... And you're going to have to pick 3, you know, unless of course you want to make this floor space a lot bigger. You can put as many vaults down here as you want. It's just how I did it on my other build. I picked my 1, 2, and 3 vaults. Or 0, 1, and 2, I should say, my first 3. And then what I did was I found the part where this lines up to my lines on the floor there, and the corners of the vault match the edges of that floor piece. So right there. Pow. You know, don't overthink it. Well, I actually messed that up. That should be number 2, or number 1 in this case. And then number 0, now you've kind of got like a template to get the next one in, and everything lines up. The vaults line up really nice. The wires on the vaults line up really nice. It was just very aesthetically pleasing. So, that's how I got these in. And again, I only did 3, but if you wanted, you could put a lot more in here. You just have to move them out closer to the outer edges so you'd actually have space for them. Come on. Boy, my joysticks really take off when I'm trying to fine-tune. Okay, so now everything should look nice. And now you understand like why I did the floor the way I did. So I've got all 3 vaults in here. It's very aesthetically pleasing. I just really liked how that turned out. But again, that's only 3, so you know you can really do as many as you want. It's just a matter of you need the floor space to cover them all. And you can really put them in here however you want. You know, you can just kind of like line them up, you know, do like a row of them. I just really liked this, especially because it gave you some walking around room on the outside here. And I can actually even go out another half a floor build. Bad thing about this is it starts adding up on the builds. So this is not build limit friendly is what I'm getting at. And then you can put your railing in. Now, all this should be snappable from here on out. Actually, that's another small. So again, I'm not going to build the entire thing. You know, I'm just trying to show tutorial. Build steps, you know how I do all this. But yeah, this should all snap in. And then basically what I would do is I would go all the way around the room like that, so there was a lot of walkway out here, and you see all the space that I have now. And what I did on my other base is I put grow beds in here. So since I had to run power anyway, I was like, well, what else can I put in here for, you know, farming or just resource gathering, and grow beds came right to mind. I don't know where the things are. Isn't it? Maybe I don't have that spec unlocked yet. Okay, I don't have that spec unlocked yet, but I'm talking about the carbon grow beds. The ones that go upright, you know, they're like a slanted wall. I showed them on the base I just went to. But anyway, then I would basically, you know, just put those in all behind all these vaults and kind of fill this in. And go all the way around the room with those. And, God, I really wish I had the spec unlocked so I could actually show that. So anyway, that's pretty much it for the bottom floor. That's the hard part, really, is the vaults. Whoops. Oh, wow. So, apparently there's a piece of wall missing. So awesome. Maybe I should put a short-range teleporter down there so that when I fall out of the egg, I can just step into that and get back into the base. But hopefully there will be no more falling out of the base. That's like the third time I've done that, by the way. Just saying. And I gotta catch up on chat here. I'll do that in just a second. Let me at least build myself back in here so I don't keep falling. Okay, I think we're good now. Oh, handrail. Yeah, I guess that kind of simplifies it. Good one there. Who needs a who needs the banister if you have a jetpack? So that's just one of my complaints about No Man's Sky is why don't we have snappable banisters or handrails or whatever? Like, you know, that should be a thing. We should just be able to snap that right onto the stairs instead of playing these games with eyeballing everything. It's just very time consuming when you know, I would just prefer it to be snappable. So No Man's Sky, if you're watching, snappable banisters would be amazing. Bacon bus. Yep, you are in good company. We all know what banisters are now. You're looking at my other base now. Okay. Your sticks have no joy. Yeah, thank you so much. Appreciate that. Oh, the drift. Yeah, don't even get me going on controller drift. I have to buy a new controller like every 4 months. Like, these things are so cheaply made now, and they're $100 freaking dollars. Like, I know they're doing that on purpose. That should be a crime. Like, I still have an original NES, okay? From 1980 whatever. The thing still works. There's no controller drift. Or it wasn't the original NES, it was the Super NES, the first Nintendo that had the joysticks. And I think it was only one joystick, like it was on the right or the left side, I can't remember. But anyway, it never developed controller drift in the entire life of that console. The next thing that I bought, what was that, the 64? Still works, no controller drift. You know, those controllers are thousands of hours played and many, many years old, no problems. Fast forward to 2020 something, now all of a sudden we all have to deal with controller drift after a few months. Like, they're definitely doing that on purpose. Yeah, that was the emergency exit. Alright. Yeah, sorry, I can't do both. I really wish I had, like, a shotgun person, a couch shotgun rider with me. They could, like, you know, read me the chats while I was playing, and it would be more real time that way. Yeah. Yeah, so controllers here are anywhere from 60, 70 to 90, 100. I think my Switch 2 controller was upward of 90. It was ridiculous. Yep. Atari, yep, same type of party there. They just don't make them like they used to. Wow, I'm officially old. Because I just said that. They don't make them like they used to. So that's when it happens. That's how you know you're officially old. When you actually have a legitimate reason to say they don't make them like they used to. Alright guys, let's go ahead and get this other one in. Bada bing, bada bing. Let's do the top floor for... Actually, no, not the top floor. We're going to do the central floor. So, to replicate what I have on the other build... Okay, this gets real tricky. Now, here's why we have to have that little stair step up, because these vaults are still too tall. Like, I don't like that it protrudes. That's no bueno. So what I did to fix that little situation, and you gotta be really good with your eyeballs here. You gotta be like Johnny on the spot with trying to match this one up as best as you can. What I'm basically gonna do is layer. Onions have layers. Ogres have layers. I have layers. So yeah, I'm basically gonna just pancake stack this one right on top. So that is an official contractor term, right? Pancaking. So I am pancaking the floor build. I have no idea what I'm talking about right now, but... So anyway, we're gonna go ahead and pancake that. Go ahead and hit that trigger, get that in. Now go back into snap mode, and this is going to be our new floor moving forward. Okay, just like that. And then what you can do is you can rip that dummy build out, and now you've got that stair step. So that should be, you know, pretty symmetrical there. It might not be perfect to the pixel, but it'll be close enough to get these things covered up the way I want. So now the only part of the vault we have coming forward is just this little thing. You know, it's not a terrible eyesore, and you can cover those up with other builds or whatever if you really want. But what this does is this finishes off this central part really, really nicely. And I'll show you guys how that turns out here once I get this last build in. Then what I did from here was I went to 2 small builds, and I matched that grain for that reason, for these builds right here. And then that kind of covers up the vaults. Oops, I didn't quite get that one in right, did I? Just like so. Okay, so now you see the overall design here. So that covers up pretty much all the vaults. You know, once you get the railing in here, it really finishes it off. And the good thing about this is you don't need to sweat the, whoops. You don't need to sweat the stair step. Like, the railing, it goes good enough. Like, you can see that really butts up nicely to that one. And that pretty much completes this floor now. And this seals the deal here. Boom. So it's got kind of like a shape to it. And I really liked how that came out. Now all the vaults are pretty much hidden. And you've got this just real nice, you know, centralized area here with this little stair step. Booyah. Now you can do this, you know, many different ways. You can really fill this in and make a lot of floor space on this level. I didn't have much to put in here, but, you know, I am sacrificing a lot of space where I could have flooring. So, you know, I just liked this open look, because as you're going up and down the stairs, you can kind of see into the lower floor, you know. So, whoops. So I'm just going to finish showing you guys the build steps here, and then I'm going to go back over to the other base and show you the final product. Because, you know, the whole point of this build right now is really just to show you guys the build steps. So the upper floor, I would go back to my triangle builds. And again, I'm not going to worry about wood grain right now. I'm just going to get the things built for tutorial purposes. Wait a minute, that isn't right. Hold on a second. Hold your horses, Tonto. Okay, that sticks out, and it... There's a way to do that where it doesn't. You guessed it. Dummy builds. So this is it, guys. This is the last dummy build we'll ever have to place. Why do I have a feeling that I'm going to eat those words at some point here? You know what? It might have to stick out a little while. I don't know if that'll be walkable. I don't think that's going to be walkable. I think it has to stick out a little bit. Oh, no. Wait a minute. No. Hold that thought. That'll snap to that. So now it is walkable, and that just extends the stairs out a little bit. That's right. Okay, so it still works. You know, it's still aesthetically pleasing. Everything's still sealed off. You have a little bit of a skinnier, I don't know, downstairs there, but it still works out. So anyway, this way it's walkable. Nothing sticks out. We're good to go. So I would just basically do that on both sides. Or, you know, I could just build the triangles going all the way around the room here. Let me do that. And now they should all be nice and flush to the edge. And we got a couple there. Oh wait, I didn't go far enough around, did I? Wow. I was shortcutting that. Okay, and once again, snap to the upper. Wait a minute. Oh, see? It snapped to that other staircase that I had in there, not to the wall. It was just off slightly, like just enough to ruin the build. Why is that going out? Oh, I see. They're all off. There we go. Okay, now you can snap that to the upper, not the lower. Come on. There we go. And once again, that should be completely walkable. And the good thing about this design is it's exactly halfway on the triangle build, so you can put your railing in there, the little half one, and it seals that off real nicely. So again, guys, I know we're sacrificing a lot of floor space. You know, if you want to put a lot of stuff in these builds, you're going to have to fill these in. But I just really liked having the openness. You could see all the floors. You know, you could see out if you just wanted to do some stargazing. I liked the openness of it all. So I could basically see down all levels from this one spot. And I'll show you what that looks like all filled in with railing here. All this stuff snaps, so you know it's easy peasy. I don't feel like I need to completely finish that off. But that's pretty much it, guys. That's the structure. That's the base. You know, whatever you want to put in here, however you want to lay your floors out, however you want to do your railing, the sky's the limit. Like, quite literally, the sky's the limit. Feel free to build these as big as you want. I really hope you have a lot of fun with these guys, because they are very aesthetically pleasing. Like, just walking this bridge, I'm like, oh mama, this is awesome. So, yeah, that's it. That's pretty much in a nutshell, pun intended, in an eggshell, pretty much the building steps. So now what I want to do is exit this one more time and show you the finished product. And I think I have to jump accounts again for that. And while that's tanking, I can go ahead and catch up on some chat here. That's an interesting thought, Bacon Bus. You know, there are a lot of, like, aftermarket, you know, companies that make controllers now. So you don't have to buy, like, Xbox from Xbox. You can buy an Xbox controller from many different brands. And one of them that I've been using lately is Power Pro. They make pretty decent ones. I've had them last, you know, a decent amount of time. They still start getting controller drift after a few months, but they're a heck of a lot cheaper. I think 30 bucks, you know, versus the more expensive options. So, you know, that's the way I've been going lately, just because I tend to burn through the controllers a lot. Oh, by the way, I didn't cover up that vault. So notice that sticks out because I decided to put my portal here. So just to show you that variant. So I'm kind of glad I came back over here to show this. But, you know, it was built the exact same way. I just really liked the shape of that. It's like, I don't know what that looks like. Kind of like a face mask helmet type thing. I don't even really know. But anyway, I just liked the way it all came together. It was very fluid. I liked how it was aesthetically pleasing. You know, it was like all symmetrical. And again, here's the finished product, guys. So there's all the roofing. There's the sunflower design or snowflake, whatever you want to call that. The overlap in the roofing builds there. This is what it looks like all filled in, where the grain is all nice and pretty. And guys, I've already showed all the building steps for all this, so I'm not going to do that again. That was in the very beginning there. But yeah, I just basically made another one of these, and then I have an exterior and outdoor, just a viewing platform. There's really nothing to this. But it shows the two different flyers there. I love the flyers in this game. I cannot get enough of them. And I just basically, I'll show you guys how I did that, you know, put the thing on top. But this is pretty much the finished product as far as the structure goes. This is what I wound up with. This is what it looks like with all your banisters on all the stairs. I just was really happy with the way the overall came out. And now you can see what that looks like, all polished and, you know, nice floor grain. Everything's going the same direction. That's what it looks like from the center there. Oh, and actually, I'm just now noticing I didn't put that secondary, I didn't put these little pieces out here. So there's none of that, and there's still plenty of walking room. So I might have squeezed the vaults in a little bit closer. Yeah, that's what I did. So I think what I was doing was I was running into build limit issues, so I ripped out that whole extra space that I showed you guys on the other build, and I just kind of squeezed the vaults in a little bit tighter. So yeah, that's why there's this overlap now. I didn't butt them up side to side. I kind of came in a lot closer than that. So anyway, that's the same idea. They're just overlapping now is all. But that enabled me to have a little bit more space back here for these planters. And those just go right up against the back of the vaults. And again, I overlapped those because, you know, it was just, I needed a walking room without having the extra floor space. So I overlapped the vaults a little bit, and I overlapped the planters a little bit to make all that work out. So, you know, hopefully that's something you can do without me having to actually show it. If that's what you want down here, you know, you may not want that. So I'm just kind of showing you guys another variant there to what I have actually built on the other base. And then for these, I just put some dummy flooring out there. And, you know, I placed the silos, and then I ripped the dummy flooring back out when the silos were built. And then to run the piping, there's two different resources in here. I've got Paphrinium, I've got nitrogen. I just happen to have two hotspots nearby. So to run those in, I just got real creative with the piping. You can see I put those straight from here to kind of like symmetrical points on the wall up there. And then I just ran the piping from there. And I actually have the next snap point like past that wall. I can show you that in case you're interested. Come on, guy, get up there. Oh, look at that. He came down to say hello. Things are gorgeous. Okay, so basically what I did was I just kind of carved out a little wall. And I can't show it now because it's all filled back in, but I think I just had a dummy floor down here to, you know, carve out this space. Because whenever you put a floor piece down and snap it in, it gets rid of the dirt. So yeah, I basically just put a dummy build under there, and that's the new snap points for the piping. So you can see all that's like tucked away really nice and neat now. And back to the wall. I think that was a midsection. So it polishes it off real nice when the things just look like they were constructed that way. You know, there's no seams, there's no gaps, it just goes right through there. And then those are separate systems. So one resource was off one direction, the other resource was off another direction. So it's pretty much how I ran everything in. And then the power, the same thing. I just tried to, you know, center everything, and I just really liked how that came out. In fact, I could have butted those up closer together. I think that would have looked better, you know, brought those in a little bit more, but honestly, it was good enough. Guys, if there's anything else you want to see me do a tutorial for, like a follow-up, I'd be happy to do that. Please let me know in comments below. Like, if you want to see the chandelier, I'll just get it done. If you want to see how I angled any of the decorations, you know, I'll show that. I'll be happy to do anything you need. So please feel free to hit me up for that. Now this is just my Level Up Royal logo, you know, but if you like that, if you like, you know, having the circles there, kind of like an entrance, you know, feel free to let me know that too. You know, again, anything that you see here that I didn't show, feel free to let me know that in comments. So for right now, I think we're good. We're pushing 3 hours. Oh, we're over 3 hours. But hey, at least I did it all in one stream. So, like, I'm happy about that. Build steps were shown, structure was completed. So, guys, I'm just going to catch up on chat here, and then we'll call this one done. You said, is that my boulder? Now I have no idea what that's referring to. That's an interesting thought. Like putting the flooring down, just going off the vaults. Yeah, that would be another way to do that. Good call. So yeah, that's my Triforce. That's my hidden Triforce for this base. I didn't put one in the new build yet. Someday I'll probably do that, and you guys will have to visit the base to find where that is. But yeah. Every one of my bases has a Triforce. Like, that has to happen. And then also every one of my bases has my logo. The logos are usually out in the open. The Triforces can be out in the open. They can be hidden in plain sight, or they're actually hidden somewhere, like in a cave or something. So yeah, that'll be interesting to see where I end up putting that. Sorry, Bacon Bus, I know. Like, I'm doing my best. I wish there was a way for me to get the chats more real time as I'm playing without having to, like, stop the game. Unfortunately, there's just no other way to do it unless I had a co-pilot here. Maybe someday, guys. Maybe someday I'll have a co-pilot, and this will be, you know, a lot more user-friendly. Yeah, thank you so much, Pink Parrot. Appreciate that. Thank you so much, Bacon Bus. Definitely glad you guys enjoy the builds. They're a lot of fun to put down, I'm not going to lie. Like, I have a lot of fun building these. Thank you so much, Bacon Bus. Really appreciate it. I'm really glad you guys like this stuff. Yeah, no kidding. So one of my other build tutorials, it was like a 10 video series, man. It went on for days. I mean, there was a lot involved with that though, so you know, it was probably going to be multiple streams anyway. But on this one, I was like, man, I really don't want to have to do a series here, so I'm glad we were able to just show it all in one go. The main thing was showing the building steps. Like, you know, a lot of this stuff, it's hard to replicate it just by seeing it, because things just don't fit in right. So, like, you kind of need the steps. A spray bottle emoji. Good stuff. Yeah, that's a funny, interesting idea there. Somebody else had mentioned something similar, like they could watch the stream from like their home and like talk to me on like video call or something, and you know, I could hear that person on my phone. You guys could hear them also through my phone, so you could hear me having a conversation with my co-pilot as an alternative to having somebody sitting right here. The bad thing about doing stuff like that is you have to know the person, because like you're responsible for everything that gets said on your live stream. So, you know, it would be better if I could have somebody just sitting here. I don't know. There's a lot of legalities and stuff involved with something like that, but you know, I've thought about inviting friends over at different times to help co-pilot for me, especially on streams like this where I'm trying to do something I need to really focus on. Maybe someday, guys. Like, I would love if I could have like an editor sitting here. That would be awesome. Like, they could sit here, you know, and do little funny icons and words coming across the screen and just sound effects, you know, just goofy stuff. They could be here to help me read chat. They could be like multi-purpose. But someday, guys, that's the dream. I'll have a team of people sitting here like a lot of these, you know, big streamers do. Because they've got 3 or 4 people sitting there the entire time doing different things. And I'm just like, dude, that's my dream. Like, if I'm ever going to make it that big to be able to afford an actual team, this would be a lot smoother. Everything would go a lot better on these, especially where the chat window is concerned. Let's see, you said I made a Shrek comment, so I made a Docky comment. Yeah. The ogres have layers, onions have layers, I think is what you're referring to. I must have missed that one there, the prostate joke. I'm gonna have to go back through and read the chats. I'll have to throw you a comment or something when I figure out what that was referring to. Yeah, that delay, so there's a moderation built into the YouTube stream, and it's supposed to catch, you know, profanity and stuff. And I think it does, because a lot of people say that their chats get blocked. And I was like, well, did you curse? Well, I said, like, this word. I was like, well, yeah, that's considered cursing, so... So anyway, you know, it does a good job, it's just not perfect. Oh my god, I don't know if I remember the boulder joke from Shrek. Man, now I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch Shrek. See? Doggone it, I don't remember the boulder part. Which Shrek movie was that? Because I don't want to have to watch all 6 of them to, like, find that one reference. Alright guys, I'm going to do a real quick outro here, and then I'll go ahead and cut this one off. We're going on 3.5 hours here. It's late at night. My brains are definitely mashed potatoes at this point. But guys, thank you so much for hanging out. Definitely appreciated having your company tonight. It's been a lot of fun. Wow, it is after 2 o'clock in the morning. Woo! I haven't been up since I haven't been up past 2 o'clock in the morning in a while. So yeah, they oh my goodness, wow, 2:15. Woo! I'm gonna have to tell my daughter about this in the morning. She's gonna be like, Dad. Anyway, guys, again, thank you all so much for hanging out. Definitely enjoyed it. It's been a lot of fun just chatting with you guys and just joking around and stuff. I'm glad we get a lot of the same references, for sure. You said Shrek 1. Okay, good deal. Well, yeah, I'll have to go back through and watch that. Thank you so much, Pink Parrot. Appreciate that. I do my best. But anyway, guys, thank you all so much. If you wouldn't mind taking that quick moment to like, share, subscribe, comment, I always appreciate that. And please, please, please keep the requests coming. Just one more reminder, check out that link in the description below to my playlist to show you guys. I also put the link to my tours. I have like 15 different bases in there. So, you know, if you see a base you really like and you want a tutorial, please feel free to let me know in comments below. I'd be happy to push that out for you. Also, if there's anything you see here that I didn't show a build step for that you would like to see the building steps for, feel free to leave that in the comments below, and I'll be happy to do a follow-on video to this one. So guys, thank you all so much for hanging out. Until the next time, best of luck and happy building. Peace out, y'all. Good deal, Bacon. Yep, take care of the dogs there. We'll catch you guys later. You guys have a good night.